Hello friends, welcome to Legg Life. And you guys know we have done FAQ videos, we've done Disney FAQ videos, but we have never done a Disney cruise FAQ video. And so we thought, well, let's put out some question on our Instagram and on our Facebook page and see if you guys had any Disney cruise questions for us.
And you did.
Holy moly, you guys had like over 60 questions in the very first day. And so we actually didn't plan on doing this video today, but we thought you guys have asked so many questions, we've got to start getting through them.
Yep.
So just so you guys know, we're not doing all 60 questions today. We're going to get through like the first 15, and then we will do more videos like this in the future, answering your Disney cruise questions.
So these are not in any particular order. They're not like the order they came in. We just sort of picked 15 questions. We did combine some like similar questions too.
So let's just jump into this. Here are the first 15 Disney Cruise FAQ questions you guys asked.
Question number 1, what is one activity on the Disney cruise that you would never do again? And what is something that you will never skip?
So we actually talked about this for a little while, and I think that we wanted to start with this question because here's the reality. Of all the Disney cruises we've been on, we couldn't think of one thing that we would never do again.
Right.
Like there are things that we didn't enjoy so much, right? There have been some things that we didn't necessarily love, but nothing that we were like, oh, you know what? Never doing that again. I think that speaks a lot to our Disney cruise experience.
Right.
There's not anything that's on that list. For me though, one thing that I would never miss, I'm certainly never going to try to miss this.
Right.
It's the sailing away deck party,
yeah.
Right? It's like as you're leaving, it's kind of the vacation has officially started. And the reason I would never skip that is one of my favorite experiences on every single Disney cruise is that countdown, right? 10, 9, 8. And then you get to 1, and then the horn plays, and there's like music and confetti or like streamers.
Dancing.
I don't know. To me, that's just, it's such the perfect way to start your Disney cruise that honestly, it's like my one like can't miss thing.
Yeah. I'm going to actually agree with him. I think it's just like, it's like the start of the vacation. Even if there's been like vacation before that, it's just like, okay, we're on the cruise, we're sailing, we're moving. This is it.
Question number 2, what Castaway Club level are you, and do you hope to get to Platinum? We are Gold. Oh my gosh. So
as of our last cruise.
As of our last cruise. We have not cruised as Gold members yet. Just so you know, Castaway Club is Disney's kind of frequent cruiser club. For cruises basically 2 through 5, you are Silver, and then 6 through 10, you are Gold, and then 11 plus, you are Platinum. And so the second part of that question, what do you think, Sherri? Do we hope to get to Platinum someday?
I sure hope so.
Oh my
halfway
gosh.
there.
We're halfway there. You guys, we're so excited to cruise as Gold members for the first time in our cruise in January. So we are Gold, and we definitely hope to make it to Platinum.
Question number 3, if you could choose a Disney cruise to Alaska or Hawaii, which one would you choose?
I will say the Alaska Disney cruise is one of the questions we get the most all of the time. Many of you guys know we actually live in Alaska, and so a lot of people ask, because you live in Alaska, would you ever do a Disney cruise to Alaska? Yes, we want to so much. In fact, I want to cruise to Alaska so bad. That's actually what I would choose. I would choose Alaska over Hawaii, even though I really want to do both. I think the reason, at least for me, is that's number 1, we love Alaska, right? We live here for a reason. We absolutely love it here. To get to see that part of our state, which is largely untouched, and most of where cruises go isn't where like kind of the everyday Alaskan live, right? It's kind of like in remote areas that you only really get to see via cruise ship. So to get to see another part of our state that we call home from a Disney cruise ship sounds amazing. That's my answer. Sherri, what about you?
Same. So I've never been to Hawaii, and so I feel like part of it is like, because I've never been to Hawaii, I don't really know what I'm missing, but being in the parts of Alaska that I have been, I do know what I'm missing not doing an Alaska cruise. So I would love to do the Alaska cruise. We actually have talked about it a lot. Alaska cruises and Hawaii cruises are both very expensive. So it's just basically been out of our budget, but we definitely do want to make it happen. Question number 4, can meats in the rotational dining be cooked to order? They said that they have noticed that ours are always cooked to medium. We actually usually order our meats medium rare, and they almost consistently show up as medium. Yeah, I'd say that very rarely have we ever gotten our meat the temperature that I would expect, maybe at like a high-end steakhouse, right? So if I order medium rare most places and it comes medium, I actually would probably ask to get it done again. Disney Cruise, I don't. I don't know. I guess maybe I have a little bit of grace with the fact that they're doing like 1,000 steaks, right? So I will say it is difficult to get it done, but I also do know that the level of service on Disney Cruise Line is so great
great
Right.
that if your steak comes out the wrong temperature and you said, hey, you know what, I really wanted this medium rare, they would get you a medium rare
100%.
steak. We just normally,
Yeah.
I'm fine with medium. If it came out well done, I'm sending it back because no steak should ever be eaten well done. That's just gospel truth, you guys.
It's gospel truth. So yeah, like any steak that you order, any kind of meat that you order, they will ask what temperature you want it cooked to,
Yep.
and if they don't ask, you can just tell them. But yeah, everything is cooked to order.
Question number 5, and this question came in a number of different ways. So this is actually a lot of questions combined into one. This has to do all with discounts, right? People are like, how do you save money on Disney cruises? Tell me about Target Red Card. What about placeholders? How in the world do I save money? What seasons do I cruise in? So basically, let me give you like a 30,000 foot view of this. Disney does not do discounts the way some other travel companies do discounts, right? A lot of companies we're used to like last minute hotel deals, right? Where we can save money if you book last minute. Disney Cruise really isn't that way. In fact, for the most part, the best price to get on a Disney Cruise is actually when the cruise first opens up, like 18 months in advance. Prices typically only go up. Now, one of the reasons for that, obviously, is because of demand. Disney currently only has 4 cruise ships. Now, we are getting 3 more, so it is possible that with that much new inventory, eventually, maybe we'll see more discounts on cruises. But you guys, right now, there is just such a demand for Disney Cruise Line that they don't need to offer discounts. So really, there's only a few ways to save money, and a few that we really love. Number 1 is via booking a placeholder. Now, I'm not going to go into all of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link down below, because we've made a video all about booking Disney placeholders. So go check that out. It's hands down our favorite way to save money on a Disney cruise and the biggest savings, we think.
Right.
And number 2 is using the Target Red Card. Again, we've made a video all about that. I will link it down below. But basically, between our placeholder reservations and using Target Red Card, we know going into a Disney cruise that we're going to save 15% on the cruise.
Right.
Now, when you're talking a vacation in the thousands of dollars, that's a lot of money. Other ways
It adds up quick.
It does add up quick, absolutely. Now, another way you can save money is looking at the time of year you cruise, right? Certain times of the year, most notably probably hurricane season, right? September, October. Cruises do tend to be less expensive. So there is a bit of a risk there, but at the same time, you can save some money. And just to know that like even some ships, basically the Fantasy, because it does longer excursions, maybe more desired excursions, tends to be more expensive than like the Dream, which does 3 and 4 night cruises. And so there's just a lot that goes into Disney cruise pricing. The one thing I would say though is just to know that there's really not a way, at least that we have found, to make Disney cruise affordable, right? To make it cheap.
It's always something you have to save for.
It's always something you have to save
pay
for. Yeah, that's exactly right. But again, we believe that the memories you have on a Disney cruise outweigh the cost of the cruise, right? So I will say, do what you can to save money. Again, links to discounts down below, ways that we save money. But you do have to know that this is going to be, Disney's just not Carnival. Right? Disney's just not other cruise lines. And so you're going to pay that premium price because, again, it is a premium experience. Question number 6, can you order more than one thing at the restaurants? Like if you wanted 2 appetizers, desserts, or entrees, can you order more than one, Sherri?
Yep.
Absolutely.
You can order whatever the heck you want.
That is one thing to know on
Even if it's not at that restaurant.
That's exactly right. So if there's something that you fall in love with, like I remember, I think it was the shrimp and grits from Tiana's on the Wonder. Sherri loved that meal so much, and you ordered it the next night at a different restaurant.
At a different restaurant. I was like, can I just get the shrimp and grits? And they were like, yeah.
Now, I will say, they can't always do that. However, it's Disney. They try to make every experience magical. And so if you want 2 appetizers, get 2 appetizers.
Yep.
If you want 2 entrees, get 2 entrees.
They've actually even suggested that, like if you're with desserts and stuff, they're like, if you can't decide, get them all and then take a few bites. And so
yeah, in fact, one of our last cruises, there was like a prime rib dinner and like a scallop dinner. And I was like, oh man, prime rib and scallop sounds great. Can I get those together? And they just brought me like plates of each. Like it was like, yep, absolutely.
Like 2 full dinners.
Yeah, here you go. And so definitely don't feel bad. That is part of cruising. Like you've spent, going back to our last question, you've spent a lot of money to be there, right? And Disney genuinely wants your experience to be magical. And so if there's something that you want, get it. If you get a couple bites into something and you're like, man, this just really wasn't what I loved, tell your server, they will bring you something else. They really do want your experience to be spectacular. So if that means you get 2 or 3 desserts, you're gonna get 2 or 3 desserts.
Question number 7, have you ever been to the Caribbean in October And what do you, like, how do you dress?
We actually have been to the Caribbean in October.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. We had great experiences both times. I will say, going back to something we said earlier, that is during hurricane season. And one of our cruises, actually, we were like 24 hours away from a hurricane. And so that was kind of crazy. That was the worst seas we've ever had.
Yep.
You had some seasickness issues on that cruise.
I did on the first night until I got the Dramamine in my system, and then I didn't.
Yeah, and so the question about how to dress, this to me is actually a really important question, and it's not just for October in the Caribbean. It's kind of, we get this question for a lot of people on like Alaska cruises. I would say that how to dress really does depend on where you're from, right? It's hard for us to answer that question because, like, again, we're coming from Alaska, so pretty much any Disney cruise, I'm packing shorts and flip-flops.
Right. Well, in Alaska, you know, in October, where it's possible snow. It's
That's right.
Probable snow. And so we're coming from snow. And so anything, you know, higher than 60 degrees, and we're like, shorts and tank tops.
Let's go to the pool, right? And like nobody else is in the pool. And so to me, the how to dress question is difficult because it does depend on where you're from. It depends, you know, if you're, I mean, my goodness, if you're coming from like a tropical location, maybe it will be cold. Maybe you need to pack like a light jacket.
Right.
Us, we normally don't.
Yeah.
And so I would say, number one, depends on where you're coming from. But two, take a look at the weather. That's one of the things I always do. I always look at, I go online and I'm like, you know, Nassau average temperature, October, right? To see what that temperature range is, to get an idea. But it's a kind of a tough question to
I know
answer.
that it is humid. It's like that really sticky hot. So
Sherri, would you, because we cruise in October, hurricane season, again, cheaper time of the year to cruise though, would you cruise in hurricane season again?
yeah, I mean, we've done it twice. So our very first Disney cruise was
That's right.
in October and right in front of that hurricane.
Yep.
And it didn't deter us from cruising four more times.
Yeah,
So,
I will say, one thing to do though is to know you're traveling during hurricane season. So we try to give ourselves like 24 to 48 hours advance in the beginning, right? Because like, okay, in the event there's a storm and we get travel delay, because again, we're traveling all the way across the country from Alaska to Port Canaveral, we give ourselves enough buffer that even in a horrible travel situation, we still have enough time to make it.
Yep. And I would kind of say that for anything, like, so not just hurricane season, but also like where if you're coming from the north when in you know, the middle of January.
Yeah.
I know our last cruise this past January, there were a lot of people that really struggled to get there. And I think, you know, for us, like, we intentionally planned on going 3 or 4 days early just in case, because we know that there's blizzards all over
And
the
you guys,
country.
it was causing so much anxiety for us because we're watching like our cruise Facebook group.
Yeah, we were there, but like we're just watching like our
And they're just
friends,
like,
and they're like,
there's a snowstorm. We don't know if we're gonna be able to get out. How are we gonna get there? Can we drive there? Can we? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we're like freaking out for them.
Right.
So give yourself enough time to travel there.
Yeah. Question number 8, what's the best thing to do on the first day before you have access to your stateroom?
So I'm a pretty firm believer in my answer. I'm curious to hear what Sherri's answer is. I believe, because again, I'm a planner, I'm a researcher, I think the best thing to do, if you've not been on a Disney cruise before, if this is your first time on a specific ship, take time, walk around the ship, get your bearings straight, because it will make the whole rest of your trip easier.
Yeah.
Right? So much time on the cruise is spent like walking places and going places that you actually can kind of get lost and turned around fairly easily. So I absolutely love it. And honestly, for me, I pretty much know my way around the ship before I even get on one. So I've watched so many YouTube videos, I've watched so many ship tours. I know.
He's like studied the maps.
Oh, totally. Like I know where everything is on those ships. But again, because I think that makes your experience better. When like every time you're not like, okay, wait, where in the world am I? So my advice is always take some time before you can get into your stateroom, explore the ship, see where things are, get your bearings straight. I don't know. To me, that makes the whole rest of your cruise so much easier.
I'm actually going to agree with that. So that's usually what we do. We usually do pack like a day pack, and you know, we talked about that in a different video, but we like to have, you know, bathing suits and my book and whatever, just in the event that we want to sit by the pool, but we really haven't. Like, it's usually just kind of perusing the ship, kind of realize, you know, kind of figuring where the theaters are and the bars and, you know, stuff that we know we're going to want to frequent.
Yep.
And so just kind of get an idea of where those are in relation to your stateroom, and then it just kind of makes the rest of the cruise easier.
Yeah, for us, it's almost always exactly the same. We get on the ship, we go to Cabanas, we get lunch, right? Because, let's be honest, food. And then number 2, we tour the ship until we can get to our stateroom, and then we go and unpack. Like, that's almost always what our first few hours on the ship looks like. Question number 9, Sherri, have we been on all 4 Disney ships?
Not yet. We have been on 3. We've been on the Dream, the Wonder, and the Magic. We have our fantasy cruise booked.
Oh my gosh.
For January, and we are super excited to complete the fleet.
You guys were so excited for that. That was really our goal. Once we cruised the first time and realized, oh, this is amazing.
Oh, this is going to be a thing for us.
This is a thing for us. We are fully addicted. We knew we wanted to cruise on all of, or we knew we wanted to try to cruise on all 4 ships before the 3 new ships start coming out. And I'm so excited to finish the fleet, complete the fleet in January on the Fantasy.
Yes. Question number 10. Does Disney Cruise provide enough magic versus like Disney World?
Yeah, we actually made a video about this earlier this year talking about which do we prefer, Disney Parks or Disney Cruise. So we'll link that video down below. There's going to be a whole bunch of videos linked down below. We absolutely think so. In fact, for us, we think that Disney Cruise is a better experience than Disney Parks. We love the parks.
We love the parks.
This is not a knock against the parks.
And there is something about the castle. Whatever park you're in, just being able to see that castle, and it's just like
100%. And fireworks over the castle and the walk down Main Street. Like, we love the parks.
Right.
But for us, Disney Cruise is such a unique, without going into everything we did in our other video, it's such a unique mix of all the things about Disney that we love, the magic, the service, just kind of the wonder.
The characters.
But then also the reality that I can have all those things and relax.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. You're not on your feet walking for 14 hours a day.
There's not 50,000 other people around you.
Right.
And so, like, for us, we actually think that the Disney magic is totally alive and well on Disney Cruise Line. We don't feel like we miss out on any Disney magic when we're cruising with Disney. We love the cruise experience. Well, we love both parks and cruise. We just really love the cruise.
Question number 11. When did you book your upfront seat of Rapunzel's?
So, as we've talked about in several videos before, I'm a big believer that I want to request everything, right? Like, again, we spend a lot of money on this vacation. We put a lot of planning into it. And so if I want to, like, sit a certain place at a theater, like I like sitting in Tiana's and Rapunzel's close to the stage.
Restaurant, not theater.
Or restaurant, sorry. I want to sit with just Sherri and I if it's just the 2 of us cruising, or if we're with friends, I want to sit just with them. I don't want to sit, like, at a communal table with other people. All of these requests I put in as early as possible. For our cruise next January, I've already made these requests. Now, I have no doubt that if you went and made those requests as soon as you got on the ship, you might be able to get them. Maybe. However, for me, I just think that the earlier you get the request in, the better.
Because there's only 2 tables right next to the stage.
Yeah,
and if they're already booked because those 2 people called ahead, you're not sitting by the stage.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's how Disney works. Like, I don't know that Disney's like first come, first serve order of reference, but I've always requested them very early, and we've had very good luck. So for me, I do it as soon as absolutely possible. I call in, I wait on hold on the Disney Cruise 1-800 number. I talk to them. I tell them kind of here's what I'm looking for, here's what I'd like, and they are spectacular when it comes to helping you make that happen. So yeah, book those things in advance. Call in as early as possible. Question number 12, Sherri, what have been our favorite Disney cruise excursion?
So we're not really excursion people. I think we've really actually only done one, like paid excursion. We kind of just like to usually get off the ship and like wander, and
explore on our own.
Thing.
Yeah.
But we did book one excursion, and we would 100% do it again. We did the wine tour in Ensenada, Mexico, and it was stellar.
It was the adults only wine tour, and it's back in our Mexico cruise vlogs. It was the best experience. It was absolutely the best. I will say, for our cruise next January, our Star Wars Day at Sea cruise, in one of the ports we are going to do some excursions. Another one of the ports we just kind of walk around. But yeah, we're not big excursion people. We kind of like to go at our own pace. I mean, some of it is like, we like to sleep in, we like to have breakfast and mosey around. I don't know, for us it really is vacation, which is about kind of doing less than doing more. And
we don't just do this on Disney cruises, like that's kind of just how we
travel.
Like that's how we travel. We did in Ireland, we just sort of like wandered. So.
Yeah, Paris, all of that stuff. We just kind of, we go at our own pace. I don't know, it helps vacations be enjoyable for us. But we also have friends who, when they travel, like excursions and ports are what they want, right? And so I would say that no matter how you travel, just do that.
Yep, do what you want to do.
Yep.
Question number 13, would we go on a Disney cruise to Europe?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this, there is no Disney cruise excursion. Somebody else asked the question, I think itinerary. I think Joel asked the question, would you do like their kind of Canada trips? Yes. There is none that we would not do. I don't think we've ever seen a Disney cruise itinerary and been like, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
We would do them all.
Yeah.
It's Disney Cruise.
It's Disney Cruise.
Sounds perfect. All right, Sherri, question number 14. What would your top Disney Cruise tip be?
I would say choose your cruise based on the itinerary, not the ship. Because no matter what ship you're going to be on, it's going to be great. So pick the place you want to go, and then whatever ship takes you there is going to be the best one.
We get this question all of the time. People kind of like freaking out over like, oh, do I choose the Wonder or the Fantasy? Do I choose new ship or old ship? What do I do? And we really do believe, even those of you guys who watched our most recent cruise on the Magic, where we didn't love the Magic, right? The Magic is our least favorite of all of the ships we've been on. We would still cruise on the Magic again,
yep.
right? And so I would say that every Disney cruise ship is going to give you a great experience. Find the itinerary that you really, really love and go on that. That to me is such an important tip.
Yeah, choose the vacation you want.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, my Disney cruise tip, so again, I'm a researcher, I'm a planner. I actually think one of the reasons that we've had such great experience on Disney Cruise is that I've done that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That like, I don't know. I hear from so many people who do no research and then go on a Disney cruise and they had kind of a bad experience because like, oh, well, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could do this. Again, so for me, it's spend the time doing the research. Like,
yeah.
No.
Or marry somebody who will spend the time.
Or marry someone who will do the research. That's my thing. Do the research so that you can have exactly the kind of vacation you want to have.
And the last question, number 15, this person says, I understand the DCL is doing away with the toiletries in the stateroom.
So if you've cruised with Disney Cruise Line, if you watched our videos, you know that Disney always puts these amazing little shampoos, conditioners, body washes, right? Just like you normally see at hotels. But the Disney Cruise Line, the brand they use, is spectacular. It's amazing, and I always steal all of them, right? They're just so good. So what Disney's doing, and I understand why, they're going away from the individual packages, and they're actually putting in-shower dispensers, right? So rather than like little things of shampoo, there's gonna be kind of the push button thing in there. Now, some people have issues with that because they talk about like hygiene. Well, if that container's not locked, couldn't somebody dump something in there that's bad for you?
Right.
You know, and then there's the selfish side that's just like, well, now how am I supposed to get free stuff? This isn't going to deter me because as soon as I heard of this, I was like, I'll just bring an empty container. Like, are you kidding? I'm going to the store and I'm buying like a shampoo bottle and I'm just going to be sitting there for 20 minutes getting my free Disney shampoo. I will not be deterred. Disney challenge accepted.
I mean, we could also just do the not cheaty route and buy them, which are available in the gift shops.
Y'all, it's so expensive.
It is.
And I'm just like, I just spent a few $1,000s on this. Let me at least feel like I'm winning, right? Like throw me a bone, Disney. Let me take this one thing of shampoo and be happy and feel like I got my money's worth. But yeah, this is kind of a big deal on Disney Cruise Line because I think like a lot of people that would do the exact same thing and they would swipe as many of those as possible. And then Disney does this to us. Shady move, Disney Cruise Line. So you guys, those are our first 15 Disney Cruise frequently asked questions that you guys submitted. And we have no doubts we're gonna get many more questions. In fact, down below in the comment section, let us know what Disney Cruise questions do you guys have?
Keep them coming.
Because it's obvious you guys want more of these videos because you asked so many questions. We'll do our best over however many weeks to answer these.
Yeah.
We promise we're not gonna do just like all Disney Cruise FAQ videos, but we might be doing like one a week or so until we get through all these. We also wanna know, was there any answer that we gave that maybe you have a different answer to, or maybe you also have another pro tip that we don't know about?
Right.
Let us know down below. We love learning new Disney Cruise things. As always, you guys, we love you. Thank you so much for engaging with us on all of our social media. Thank you so much for being a part of our Legg Life community. Thank you for all of your questions, and we will see you on the next Legg Life video.